kind of shops you find abroad, they are not the ones we see in Mariam Road or West Market. The only thing that looks like them is like the one we have here at Spa. If you are able to take your product to Spa and present that product to Spa and say, Spa, accept it, and they take you through their process, you have gone through the process of product development. Because they are going to ensure that your product is developed to the standard that they will sell. And once you are able to sell to make your product to that standard, it means that you can also sell to the Asdas of UK, the Walmarts of US, and every other international platform. First of all, do you have a barcode? You know what we call barcode? Many of us don't have barcode. You can't sell this off the shelf of anywhere without a barcode. Just as you go to Spa, nobody has time to be writing, oh, this one is cassava fufu or whatever, so let me put it in the system. Thank God that IRS has agreed that they are going to give us the software. Every POS machine anywhere in the world that they will sell, you see, if you go to Spa, they just carry it. If you are someone that is in Abuja now, you will see H-Medis or any of these big supermarkets. They just scan it. You know that in most markets in abroad, nobody attends to you. It is between you and the self-service. How do you do it with self-service? You must have a barcode. It is a barcode you must scan through. So if you give him this product, even if it is very good, no barcode, it won't go anywhere. So, apart from barcode, what is the thing telling you that this is the content of it? So your packaging is something that is very key. If you don't have packaging, you are not going anywhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any other question?
Classification and all that. Please, is it possible for us to pay you money outside this, so that practically you can uphold us to achieve it? If you can get one product, you are able to get, is it barcode, get classifications, and we establish 1, 2, 3, or let me say 5. For 5 products, we are able to establish it, and I know there's markets there. Or even we did like Dr. Sasa said, we did Nigeria, that if your produce can be purchased by SPAC, that means it is of international standard. It can be purchased anywhere in the world. So if we can parcel that our granules and get it to SPAC to buy from us, we know we started. Then from there we begin to chase international markets. So please, while we do to stay within the local market, domestic market, we can, continue the process to get to. Is it possible for you, ma'am, to assist us? Thank you.
Please, before you respond, there's another question.
Thank you, my MD. My name is Kingsley Oguma. I work with Brightfield Logistics. I want to add to what you said. It's not possible to grab everything from just a section. It takes time. It takes stages. You need to understand this process very well. Now, my concern is this. with those many regulatory bodies just to get a product across this country, is it possible for these regulatory bodies to simplify it, to streamline it such that you don't have to go through all this process? I've been with you, so I understand that you've been making plans on that too. Is there possible for those responsible for us to be able to get a product, identify a product, understand it well enough to start making this whole thing simplified? Then another thing is this: we can start from packaging. I understand sometimes now that can be very funny. You see Gary in the marketplace with flies perching on it. Nobody answers you. But the moment you put it in the bag to cover it to want to sell, they clamp on you. It's quite frustrating. I wish we can limit such things so that it will encourage more persons to go into export. Thank you.
Any other question? Good morning, all. Please, I've learned a lot this morning. And we're talking about product export readiness. We're talking about the market research itself and understanding the product you're sending out. Because in Nigeria, it's very easy for somebody to just come and just set up a business, set up a place to begin to start something. But exporting out is quite different. We've learned about the packaging itself, and then the product readiness. What product, we need to know what product we are sending out. If this product will sell over there, and then we heard about palm oil. There was a time I actually traveled and I saw the face of palm oil in London, and I looked at it, it was looking like butter color. So that means it has been processed already. And then we need to also be ready in taking this decision. Product readiness is what we're coming to learn here. So please, I'd like our facilitator to tell us about the readiness of our export. Export readiness. How we're sending it out and how ready we need to be ready. It's not something you venture into, because she told us today that business, if you're doing business, you're doing business to win and not to lose. So some people will venture into it, and because they are not ready, they tend to lose. Please let her clarify. Thank you.
I don't know whether it's a question or it's a comment or something, but I have followed through the exports, the logistics, and there's just one snag. And I will use the Lagos example, what I saw in Lagos. I went to the cargo section of the international airport one of those days, and I saw young girls, they group themselves together and send ugu, water leaf, and everything abroad. So it's a cluster thing. As long as we walk alone, we will not succeed, because sometimes I remember this, I had to send 20 tons of cocoa nibs. And I was looking for cocoa farmers everywhere making calls to be able to send 20 tons of cocoa nibs. I couldn't even get 2 tons. And it wasn't funny. It was then I realized that if you're going to go into export, you must be open-minded to collaborate. Do you understand? What she's talking about is export. She's not telling you the tons that they want. She has not started telling you. By the time she starts telling you the tonnage that is needed, you know that we have not started. Both processed, semi-processed, and raw material. So we need to begin to open our minds to collaborations and forming clusters. If she says, oh, today, and then we need to also make up our minds that in as much as we want to form, some people need to take up, spearhead and take up. Not everybody will learn logistics or get it. But if we get it, we should open our minds and get people to be able to do it. So what I learned in Lagos, what they did was that When you bring your ugu and water leaf, all the leaves you need to bring to the cargo section, you know, they will collect it and weigh it according to how much it will be. So by the time they send it to London, because it was going to London, by the time you're coming back, you're being paid in dollars in the amount you were able to send. But they have made up their tonnage. They have made up their tonnage. So everybody was content with, if it is $100 I was able to send, I know I'm working $100 weekly. We need to disabuse our minds here, because here in our parts, we all want to make that $10,000 by yourself. And you can only do maybe one export because of that. And in 10 years, you do one export and you're content to have that export license and just sit down and make that $10,000 in 2 years. So we need to open up our minds to know that collaboration is also the way to go in this matter. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I think with that,
first of all, I want to thank Dr. Stas for bringing a big introduction of packaging. Packaging is a different training entirely. And since Dr. Lovia is here, I think he will briefly go to the as a practical person. Then for my honorable, I understand your concern, and I know that it is not going to be easy for everyone seated here to be able to be conversant of that training and just that. So, what I want to say, there's a package the Export Promotion Council has, which is domestic export warehouse team. Domestic export warehouse is like a one-stop shop by which your only headache is sourcing a product. Then everything about certification, licenses and all of that, there's somebody there that will help you to take care of that. So we can have that kind of cluster here. Because it's not going to be easy for you, to be able to have, it's a whole lot of documents, certificates, and quality requirements. And another thing too, like Madam said, it is only here that you see we have WhatsApp group. Nobody should add me to any WhatsApp group. You have your ugu, you have your crayfish. We all check, weigh everything together. Some of them, the Igbo guys call, check the line of container that your goods can contain. Then you'll be able to share freight and expenses accordingly. Then by the time